All right, got a little 223 and 556 gel test for you here today. The 223, I'm going to be using the 55 grain by PMC there. You can see they're advertising 2,900 feet a second. In an older video from 2 or 3 years back, I chronoed both of these from a 16-inch barrel, except the X-Tac was a 55 grain as well in that video. And they both achieved right at advertised velocity from a 16-inch. So I'm sure the 62 grain variant here today is achieving advertised velocity as well. And then a PMC X-Tac 62 grain for the 556. And as you all know, it's got the little green tip soft steel penetrator there, advertised 2920. Again, check out that video for the chrono results on these out of a 20-inch, or excuse me, out of a 16-inch barrel, which is what we're using today. I'm going to be doing more 223, 556, and many other calibers in the future on the channel. Ballistic gel test, not only close range here like today, but further out eventually as well. A lot of people will chime, these are not ideal self-defense rounds, but that's what a lot of people have loaded up, and I shoot this stuff a lot, especially the 223, just because it's cheap. You know, we're getting this for like 9 and this for like 10 where I'm at, and a lot of guys just load up with that. We may get some fragmentation from either one of these, I'm not sure, but we're going to put them in the block and find out. I'll definitely be testing some hollow points, soft points, ballistic tips, stuff like that at a later date. So in due time, it will be coming up. But we got two 12-inch blocks here. I fully expect the green tip to exit. Don't really know what's going to happen with that 223 there. Of course, I suppose if they both tumble or fragment or whatever, they might both stay in the block, but we'll see. But 24 inches overall is what I got. Nox 10% ballistic gelatin. Our BB calibration there today coming in at 3.25 inches. Temperature controlled as always, so we are golden. As I said, we'll be using a 16-inch. This is a BCA Bear Creek Arsenal. It's a 1-in-8 twist, cold hammer forged, and it's their side charger model. I'll either already have posted or coming up review on that upper, so when it's up, if you want to check out the review on that, we're going to see how it shoots. I'll put a link in the description for that. All right, shooting distance is about 5 yards. Hopefully there's a focus on that. I'm going to do the green tip first. Well, I was going to do two and then show you, and usually I have the camera down here, but thought it'd be a nice change to do it from back there. But this did such a massive amount of damage. Wanted you guys to see that first, in case the 55 grain just does as much or more and mixes together and you can't really see it too well. So there's the entry. There's the massive wound cavity, and to me, it looks like, oh, what happened? Oh, there you go. Okay, so did it go through the tape? I don't think it went through the wood there. It might have. I mean, that's kind of where we had it. I thought it fragmented because it was just so massive. It definitely like tumbled as soon as it hit though, for sure. That might be fresh back there. Maybe we can see something in the video from back there. It hit the ground that I couldn't see through the scope. So that's what we got. She came in, yawed sideways, which is why it did all that massive damage. I don't really see any fragmentation, so I don't think it did that. And it hit our board there. Let me get these off and we'll flip the board upside down real quick. There's definitely a hole there. There's no other holes in this, so that is from that. She definitely shot through the bottom of the board there, and it's hard to tell as far as the table because it was already busted up, you know, where it would have hit the table or what have you. So I'm thinking that's a fresh hole. That's definitely got to be where she hit. I'll take a look around, see if I can find anything, but I believe that's definitely an impact from that. We'll see for sure in the footage. But anyways, absolutely freaking massive. So unfortunately it didn't go straight, which I didn't really expect them to. You know, those are known to tumble, so just massive freaking damage. I mean, about 2.5 inches in, you just get this tumble, and it's just, man, that would be right in your chest cavity. So that's impressive. Well, obviously with the green tip, well, I mean, it's for, you know, penetrating light barriers on the outside. Doesn't really matter, because you're just trying to get through barriers with a green tip, if you are doing such. And then you get that massive tumble there. That's pretty impressive. So let's see what that 55 grain does. All right, we'll put that 55 grain on the left now, the 223. All right, let's see what we got. Jumped pretty good. Oh, do I got it? What happened? Oh, I got it backwards. Oh, we got lucky. We got lucky. So there's the entry on that one. You can see she came in curved. So again, I'll get measurement on this to show you guys. But again, our BB was 3.25 inches. So by 3 inches, they're tumbling, at least close range, out of a 16-inch barrel. 1 in 8 twist. The wound cavity looks about equally as impressive. We do have some fragmentation with that one. There's another piece right there, and we got lucky. We caught the base there right before it exited. There was another piece. You can see that separate channel there where it, and I can see it did exit it. You can see the little hole right there. So we had fragmentation make it that far too and shoot out the side, but there's what's left of the base. So the first shot with the 5.56 to 62 grain green tip, we got about 10.5 inches of penetration through the ballistics gel before it hit the wood there. Shot through that, shot through our table. Again, I'm almost positive that's where it impacted. So we would have got a lot more penetration than 10.5 inches, obviously, because it had plenty of power to shoot through that 3/8 inch plywood there through my table. Hit the ground. I dug that out. I'm pretty sure that's where it hit. Didn't find anything, so it must have chucked up in there somewhere. So she certainly got the penetration for self-defense, and the cavitation, the wound cavity there, just absolutely amazing. Now again, typically these things tumble. The little 55 grain, 62 grain bullets will typically tumble when they hit, but they don't always tumble. Now this may seem crazy, but I've researched it quite extensively, and the bullet, I guess it's said to actually kind of like, as it's spinning, you know, it's rifled, it spins just like any rifle bullet. But the tail is actually kind of wobbling on those, I guess, you know, by like a mil or two. And it kind of depends, from what I've read, it depends on what part of that wobble it's in when it contacts the target, whether or not it'll tumble or yaw. Because I've seen where sometimes they don't tumble or yaw, and you just get a little pencil line all the way through. So more often than not, they do seem to tumble and yaw as long as the velocity is high enough. It's commonly accepted once you get below about 2,200 feet a second that you may lose the tumbling effect, the yawing effect that you were getting here. That's something I need to test later, at a later date, once my production budget's a lot higher. Make way bigger blocks and send, you know, like 10, 12 into a block and see how many of them tumble and how many don't. But more often times than not, they tumble, and when they do, that's when you get that massive, awesome wound cavity. If they did that every time, that would be perfect. But from what I've researched, they don't always do that, although they tend to do that. And then our 55 grain here, again, this was only a 223. Let's see here. Stopped right at 16 inches. And because of that curve, if you straighten that out, it'd actually be a little longer, like 17 some inches of penetration. But with the curve, we got 16 there. Now, I didn't have anything else planned for these blocks today, so I'm going to spin them around, and we'll take 1 or 2 more of those green tips, and maybe we can get a capture or keep it straight enough to see that it, you know, exits. With that tip, it should exit the block, but it depends on how much it's tumbling and yawing. So let me fit these around. I'm not worried about doing another 55 grain 223 because we already we already got a capture on that one. So I'll do another green tip or two on the other side and see if we can get a capture. And real quick, I didn't want to risk losing this when we come in the other side with those other green tips, so I went ahead and plucked that out. And that's all that's left. I'll get a measure, or not a measurement, but a retained weight. Let's see how much that guy weighs. It's flat, so there's not much left there. It is completely flattened out. So that's all the base that was left. All right, let's see if we can capture one of those green tips, and this time I'm going to put the camera down there on the cooler for you guys. Did the exact same thing, same curve and everything. So the next one I'm going to come in higher. Big old wound cavity, still tumbled. Punched through the board right there. There's the previous hole. Well, one of those is the previous hole. And we got a new impact right there where it shot through. Now you never know, you know, the next one might curve up or curve left. So I'm going to come in right here and we'll come in higher, not this high, but a little bit higher than that. And I'm trying, man. This will be the last one. Interesting. I was going to say, see, the block did not jump that time, so maybe it didn't yaw. However, looking at the top of that, it's just because it shot it all out the top, because it came higher, like I said, because it was curving down. But you can see there, same thing. It started to, and just look at that. Absolutely freaking massive, but because it was so close to the top, it just blew out the whole top. So it didn't get to really transfer a lot of its energy into the weight of the block, because it just shot it all out the top. And then that guy, up and out the top. See, this time it didn't curve down like the other two did. But those are tumbling 3 times in a row at least. That was 3 green tips we tried to catch. And yeah, I mean, 3 tumbles in a row, absolutely massive wound cavities. So I tried to capture it, but those things just, they tumble and yaw, and so they change direction. We're honestly really lucky we caught that 55 grain 223. If you guys are looking to get one of these little micrometer calipers there, my scale, link in the description. I also got the Knox gelatin linked in there, way more targets I use, target stand. So that little piece, what's left of that base of that 55 grain 223, 18.6 grains. That'll about do it for this one, guys. If you want to get yourself any of the products you see me use in the videos, links in the description for all that. But like I said, we're doing more upcoming. Might be springtime, might be later. I'm trying to do what I can. And we'll test some hollow points, soft points, ballistic tips. If you have any requests, put them in the comments section. No guarantee I will get to them, but I like to hear what you guys want to see. But that's our results today with the PMC X-Tac 62 grain green tips there, and their PMC bronze 223. I love this stuff. It shoots good out of most of my guns. 55 grain full metal jacket there. But like I said, eventually I'll be doing longer range, and we'll try different barrel lengths and stuff like that. And once I get a few tests done, I'll probably be adding a 223 5.56 gel test playlist to the channel. So if it's years from now and you're watching this, you can check for that playlist. I might already have a bunch up, but this is the first one we've done so far. But anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by and watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to catch you on the next one.